Sources can be like finance, machines, raw materials, power, water, labor. So these are the resources available in our environment, and through study of the environment we can make use of these resources. Next is it helps in coping with rapid changes. Today's business environment is getting increasingly dynamic, so where changes is taking place very fast. So knowledge about the business environment helps you to cope up with these rapid changes. Next is helps in improving performance. Through studying about the business environment, you can make use of the opportunities. You can face those dangers which are going to affect you in the near future. So all this helps you to perform well. So these are the importance of business environment. Next, we are going to look at the dimensions of business environment, or we can see the different types of business environment existing in our economy. The first one is economic environment. What does economic environment means? Economic environment consists of interest rates, inflation rate, changes in disposable income of people, stock market, value of rupee. These are some of the factors which exist in our economic environment, and these factors can affect the well functioning of the business organization. For example, in case of construction of construction companies and automobile manufacturers, how longer the term rates are beneficial because they result in increased spending by consumers for buying homes and cars on borrowed money. So in case of construction companies and automobile manufacturers, longer term rates are beneficial. Longer term rates are beneficial for them because they spend more amount for buying homes and cars on borrowed money. So longer term rates are beneficial for them. So according to the changes taking place in the trends of customers or in the economic environment, the business also have to change accordingly. Here in this graph, you can see that the business environment is divided into several parts. You can see economic environment, social environment, technological environment, political environment, and legal environment. Second one is social environment. So what does social environment consist of? It consists of various factors like customs, tradition, values, social trends, society's expectation from business. All these customers, trends, societal expectations, values, all these factors affect the business organization. So one must possess all these qualities. So traditions means those practices that has been followed from a longer period of time. For example, when the festivals like Diwali or Holi comes, for sweets and colors have a lot of demand. So at that time, the business firms can make use by selling these type of products. And the taste and preference of customers are changing. So according to those change, for example, for textile industry, the fashion may change. So the preference of people will also change. So according to those changes, the business firms will also sell those products which the customer needs. Next is technological environment. So adopting new technology or expanding the technology. This is what is factors coming under the technological environment. Innovations which provide new ways of producing goods and services, and new methods and techniques of operating business are included here. So recent technological advances in computers and electronics have modified the ways in which companies advertise their product. So due to this technological development, advertisement is increasing. More development has been taken place in the advertising industry. Next is political environment. Political environment includes political conditions such as general stability, peace in the country, specific attitudes that elected government representative hold towards business. So all political activities come under this, like the political condition, stability, how peaceful our country is, and what are the policies of the government. If it is it elected, or is it a monarchy system, or those such kind of factors existing in a country will affect the performance of organization. So political condition, its success lies how well the political stability is there in a country. If it has a stable condition, the business activities will also be stable. They can function well. But if it is unstable, it will affect the business organization drastically. The fifth one is legal environment. The term legal environment itself says, legal environment includes various legislation passed by the government and its administrative orders issued by government authorities, court judgment, all these rules and regulation of the center, state or local government, all comes under legal environment. So once a rule or regulation is being passed or changed, the business have to follow those rules and regulations. And the business organization must obey the rules of the land. So advocate knowledge about the rules and regulation of our country must be known by the business organization, because in our court no excuse will be given if you have made a mistake, and if you are saying that you didn't have a knowledge about the law, the court will not give you any excuse. So therefore the country in which you reside, your own country's laws and regulation must be well known to the business firm. Now we are going to look at economic environment of India in detail. The economic environment in India consists of various macro level factors related to means of production and distribution of wealth. So the production and distribution of wealth is included in the economic environment, and this include different stages of economic development of the country, the economic structure, if it is a mixed economy or a capitalist economy or a socialist economy, then economic policies of the government including monetary, fiscal policies and other economic 5-year plan, then new economic policies, economic indices like national income, GDP, per capita income, rate of savings, rate of interest, then infrastructural factors like institutions, financial institution, banks, mode of transportation, communication, all these comes under economic environment. And the economic environment of business in India, it has been steadily changing because due to the government policies are also changing. Those changes in the economic sector after independence was Indian economy was mainly agriculture and rural in character. About 70% of working population was working in the agriculture sector. 85% of the population was living in villages, and production was carried out by using irrational low productivity technology. So communicable diseases were widespread. So these all was the condition at the time of independence, but now it has been changed because they have initiated several, because it is many years have passed on, right? So now the system is almost drastically changed. So now this kind of situation doesn't exist in our country. So this was a situation which was existing at the time of independence, prevailing at the time of independence. So India's development plans were economic growth, self-reliant economy, then reduce inequalities and wealth, adopt a socialist pattern where government and the public or private they work with equality. As a part of reforms, the government of India announced new industrial policy in July 1991. The new industrial policy mainly consists of 3 terms, that is liberalization, privatization and globalization. The first one is liberalization. What do you mean by liberalization? It means giving freedom. Reforms have been introduced aimed at liberalizing the Indian economy from unnecessary controls and restrictions. All restrictions and unnecessary controls were avoided by bringing up liberalizations, abolishing license requirement, freedom in deciding the scale of business activity, removing restrictions on the movement of goods and services, freedom in fixing prices. All these were allowed after bringing liberalization. Next is privatization. Privatization means that you're giving private sector a role. So new economic reforms aimed at giving a greater role to the private sector in the nation building process and reduced role to the public sector. So the public sector, they are giving greater role to private sector. Both of them are functioning. So both public as well as private will have role. The private will be having a greater role. So it was as a part of the development procedure, the privatization was given. Now what is globalization? Globalization means integration of various economies of the world leading towards the emergence of the global economy. That means the different countries all over the world are trading in goods and services. They are exchanging goods and services with each other. Import and export is taking place. So all this was possible after the adoption of globalization. Globalization involves increased level of interaction and interdependence among various nations of the global economy. So physical geographical borders were no longer a barrier. They were going across different nations. And interdependence, the interaction between different nations helped in promoting trade activities in every country, in India also. So that is known as globalization. It's the interaction of different economies of different countries all over the world. Along with liberalization, privatization and globalization, demonetization was also a part of economic reform. That was the government of India made an announcement of November 8, 2016 with profound implication of the Indian economy. The 2 largest denominated notes like 500, we have heard this news, right? Rupees 500 and rupees 1000 were demonetized with immediate effect. These rupees were thrown away from our economy. This is known as demonetization. Government put a ban on, stopped the production and the distribution of rupees 500 and 1000 in the economy. This led to 86% of the money in circulation invalid. 86% of money that were held in the hands of people of rupees 500 and 1000 were invalid, because at a point of time the government announced that these notes will have no value. So 86% of 500 and 1000 rupees note held in our economy was just valueless. This was mainly adopted to stop the movement of black money in the nation, and to curb corruption, and to avoid all illegal activities using notes. For this purpose, demonetization was introduced. So it was viewed as a tax administration measure. It was an enterprise shift on the part of government, indicating tax evasion will no longer be tolerated or accepted. That is, people sometimes, what they do, business organization, they do not pay tax. So with this demonetization, this evasion of tax was no longer accepted. Then it also led to channelizing savings. Another feature of demonetization is to create less cash or cash-light economy. That is, you can create more savings through formal financial system and improving tax compliance. Our last topic is about impact of government policy changes on business and industry. This means what was the impact that affected? What was the effect on business and industry when the government introduced different policies? The first one is increasing competition. So as a result of changes in rules of the industrial licensing and entry of foreign firms, competition for Indian firms has increased, especially in service industries like telecommunication, airlines, banking, insurance, etc. So as a result of changes in the system of licensing and entry of foreign firms, competition in Indian firm increased largely. And it mainly affected the service industries like communication, airlines, banking, insurance, etc. Second one is more demanding customers. So customers today have become more demanding because they are well informed, because they know about the products, they know about the quality, they know about the usefulness of products, so they are demanding more. Customers today have become more demanding. Third one is rapidly changing technological environment. Technology has also been shifted, because in the past you can see that no such technologies existed, and now different firms are competing because different technologies are now available. Necessity for change. So in a regulated environment of pre-1991 era, the firms could have relatively stable policies and practices. But after 1999, market forces have become turbulent, result of which enterprises have to continuously modify their operations, because as the business environment is changing, the rules and policies were not as it was at the time before 1991. So it has drastically changed. So it necessitated for a change. The need for developing human resources. As technologies have been changed, we need trained personnel. So we need to develop human resources. Training must be given to those people, and well competent persons must be selected. Sixth one is market orientation. Earlier firms used to produce first and go to the market for sale. Yeah, it was true, because first firms used to produce the goods and they sell it in the market. But now it has changed. Now it has changed. Like the customers will demand, and the producers have to and the products have to be produced. In other words, they had production-oriented marketing operation. In a fast-changing world, there is a shift to market orientation, as in much as the firms have to study and analyze the market first and produce goods accordingly. So, by studying about the taste and preference, the conditions of the market, then only the firms have to produce. But before, it was not like that. The firms will produce something whatever they like and they will sell it. But now it is not possible. The loss of budgetary support to the public sector. The central government budgetary support financing the public sector outlays has declined over the years. This means the central government's budgetary support for financing the public. So money is given to the public to look after its activities, but those budget is being declined over the years. The public sector undertakings have realized that in order to survive and grow, they will have to be more efficient and generate their own resources. So they get to know that they have to be more efficient, then only they can create revenue. They have to create their own resources and sell them for greater revenue. So these are the effect of policies on the business and industry. So we learned about meaning of business environment, its importance, elements or dimensions like economic environment, social environment, technological environment, political environment, legal environment, and the economic environment in India, the impact of government policy changes on business and industry.